Destiny the streamer.
No, we gotta move.
Uh-oh.
No, okay.
Mel time.
Why did I say this?
Mel time. It's Mel time.
Leafy is queer. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest dramas of the year is brewing right now, and you don't want to miss it. Or maybe you do because you care about things that actually matter instead of this guy fighting this guy. I don't. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark, and you all know who LeafyIsHere is. I covered him not too long ago on my channel where I talked about him coming back to the internet after a little bit of an absence, and I also talked about how Keemstar seems to think he needs an intervention for his crippling drug addiction. That's not a joke, by the way. Like, that's serious. That's a real video I made, and that's actually what happened in the video.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do an intervention with Leafy. I talk to Leafy like 3 times a month.
Yeah.
And 2 of those times, he's cracked out of his fucking mind.
On top of that, Leafy's obviously one of the, most prolific YouTubers of our time, certainly at least in the commentary sphere, and he had a big impact when he was on YouTube. But because YouTube banned him, his online presence was kind of aimless for a few years. He would tweet and post to his Instagram story once in a while, but we really did not hear from Leafy. With the introduction of alternative platforms like Kick, streaming sites like Twitch are being given a run for their money. And one site that's been around for a while but is now shaping up to be a serious competitor is Rumble. Now, Rumble initially became the home really for just like red pill dudes like Sneeko and Andrew Tate, people who couldn't operate on YouTube because they got a little too saucy with the misogyny, right? But as time has passed, we've seen some more mainstream creators like Mizkif being signed. And Miz is not political at all with his content. He's more in the gaming and just chatting categories. Obviously, in some ways, he's controversial in his own right, but he's more of a mainstream person. He's less controversial than any of those guys because he's not political. He doesn't have controversial beliefs on women or anything. He's just like a normal guy who streams and hangs out with a lot of other popular streamers like Pokimane, and now that guy is going to Rumble for a little bit. He's not leaving Twitch, but he's streaming on Rumble concurrently with Twitch, which is a big deal. Obviously, Kai Cenat and IShowSpeed, 2 of the biggest streamers in the world right now. I think Kai is probably like #1 on Twitch, and I think IShowSpeed is probably #1 on YouTube in terms of streaming. They're doing an exclusive show on Rumble that you can only get on Rumble. That is what exclusive means after all. Fuck me. So now the site is looking more formidable as a serious competitor to Twitch in terms of their streaming power, in terms of the star power they have there. There's a big reason to go there. Meanwhile, Kick is just like Aiden Ross. And even Aiden right now is talking about how if they can't seem to get Rice Gum to go over to Kick, he's going to go to Rumble or something. And one streamer who was recently signed to Rumble not too long ago was LeafyIsHere himself. Now, Leafy's been streaming on Rumble for a few weeks now. I actually managed to get him to call into my stream once for a little talk. And to be honest with you guys, the dude seemed fried as hell. He seems like he's barely even a human being when he talks, okay? The dude is like on Adderall at all times. He's like darting wildly from topic to topic. You can't get like a single coherent thing out of him. I don't even think he has any real opinions or anything. His attention span lasts like 1 second, jumping from topic to topic constantly. It's impossible to have a real conversation. And I mean, his streams are very reflective of this. Like, the streams themselves are basically just him trolling for 2 hours, like saying random shit and then leaving. There's not a lot of substance in these streams. There's not a lot of structure. But for all of Leafy's lack of consistency, there is one thing he's consistent on, and that's that he's been talking about trans people a lot. On Twitter, it's like every single tweet with him. He's making every stream now titled like, "I'm gonna do this to transgenders. Transgenders want to hurt me," or something like that. Like is it at this point? It's almost like an obsession with trans people. If I had to guess, the reason he does this is because tweeting about trans people in a negative way is the easiest way to get any attention, positive or negative, on the internet. People immediately are gonna be there to be like, "No, I love trans people, trans rights." Or on the other hand, you're gonna get like, "Base, you'll never be a woman, 41%, haha." Like, this is just the way things work. If you express any opinion, positive or negative, about trans people, you're gonna get that reaction from both sides. They just come out of the fucking woodwork, unlike any other topic I've seen. And I don't even think Leafy cares about trans people. I don't think he cares about almost anything other than, like, trolling and having fun on the internet. I don't think he has any real beliefs, like, politically or culturally. I think he just likes to troll people. If what he does makes you mad because of his, like, the results of his intentions, I can't argue with you there. But, like, to me, it's obvious that his intent is just to drum up controversy and get attention, right? Because he doesn't have to care about his reputation. He doesn't give a shit. He's already kicked off YouTube. He doesn't have to, bow down to anyone. So he's just going mask off, saying random crazy shit all the time. But it is crazy how much like trans shit is just discussed on the internet in general. I feel like transgenderism is the most discussed topic on the internet right now, like ever. Everywhere I look, I see discussion of trans people, which I find very curious because trans people make up like, it's some ridiculously small amount of the population, like 0.003% of the population. I rarely even see trans people in real life. So it's crazy that the issue is like the #1 talking point for almost fucking everyone on the internet. That one clip of Joe Rogan like owning Matt Walsh is just so good when Matt tries to say there's like millions of trans children in the US who are on hormones, and then Joe's like, actually it's like 5.
Are you talking about hormone blockers?
Yeah.
Millions of kids have been on hormone blockers? Really?
I'm sure someone's going to fact check me on that, but my guess is that we're into the millions now at this point. Yeah, that would be my guess.
It says over the last 5 years, there were at least 4,780 adolescents who started puberty blockers and had a prior gender dysphoria diagnosis.
It says it's kind of undercounted, but that
would be a big
less than
undercounting.
1,000 people a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess, hundreds of thousands at this, but I could be wrong.
Million sounds great.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
The Media Matters will have fun with that clip.
Well, with Leafy tweeting this stuff and people being aware that he's back, he's also getting a ton of attention on his Rumble streams. And part of streaming is obviously interacting with other streamers, other content creators, to see what they have to say. People love a good crossover, a good collab. So Leafy's been talking to Rumble staples like Sneeko, and I believe he even had a conversation with Nick Fuentes of all people, which is a really, weird like worlds collide type thing.
So you banned YouTube and like Twitch and whatnot?
Yeah, banned on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. But just like you, I got back on Twitter because of Elon. We got wiped for around the same time on pretty much all platforms.
That's shitty.
But yeah,
if you could have one of them back, which one would it be?
Probably YouTube, but I like Rumble, man. If someone asked me that today, if I got YouTube, I could funnel people into Rumble because I like free speech. Like just everything that I just said right now would get me banned on YouTube. You can't really talk about that stuff.
Well, with Leafy talking to all these guys and getting some decent connections, naturally he began looking for someone else to make content with. Someone maybe on the opposite side of the political spectrum to who he'd been collabing with, because obviously Nick is like, pretty, not pretty right-wing, very fucking right-wing. Sneeko is, pretty right-leaning as well. And so as a result, he was like, I imagine anyway, in his little fucking Calvin Leafy brain, he was like, dude, I need to fucking talk to a libtard. And the person he fell upon was Destiny when he spun that bottle. Now, I think a lot of you guys are going to call me cringe for what I'm about to say, but obviously I've addressed it in a few videos and stuff. Guys, I'm actually a fan of Destiny, okay? I do enjoy some Destiny content. I think he's very good at what he does. I find many of his takes very agreeable. And even when I disagree, I appreciate his intellectual honesty. Basically, I'm gay, and I'm fucking stupid. Well, I guess Leafy tried to get his attention on stream to have a conversation. That didn't work. He tried to message him. That didn't work. So when none of these avenues were working, he began tweeting about Destiny and his wife to get attention. To get Destiny to notice him, to feel that public pressure, to feel that fire, and want to maybe talk to him and just give in a little bit, For the unaware, Steven is married to Melina Goranson, who is a model, I believe, and I think she used to do some adult content type stuff. And they also have an open relationship where they can engage, they can insert and be inserted into with other people, okay? They can get that sloppy, toppy, grobby, wobby, robby, slippy, slobby on and such, okay, with other people other than themselves, other than their husband or wife. They can mix and mingle, okay? They can mix, they can mingle all they want. Sounds a bit foul to me personally, but hey, whatever makes them happy, I guess. But naturally, with the nature of their relationship, Destiny gets hit with the cuck meme a lot, especially with the whole cuck meme becoming really popular in the past few years. And, in the whole political sphere, like people love to throw insults to try and discredit people's opinions. Destiny gets hit with the cuck meme a lot. And, not gonna lie, it's kind of funny. And Leafy, being aware of this, wished to exploit it for his own gain. And he definitely did do that. He definitely fucking exploited that, okay? He stuck his dick right in there and fucking sloshed around, okay? He started tweeting in reply to anyone talking about Melina, basically making jokes about her, about Steven, about their marriage, about this whole cuck thing. Destiny's wife is evil and must be stopped. When people would tweet out the meme I showed in the start of this video, Leafy would reply by saying, Elliot Rogers was right. When Sneeko would tweet a promo for his video, there was Leafy to say, this isn't even related to Steven at all. He would instantly reply, there's a black man fucking Destiny's wife right now. We have to stop him. There's a black man having sex with your wife right now. Find your wife before he nuts. What the fuck? Like he just keeps going constantly, and this was incessant. I mean, every single tweet was about this, and as you can imagine, Steven became a bit peeved. He became peeved Steve over this, and you know, during this he was basically ignoring Leafy. He would acknowledge him a little bit to talk, but for the most part he was just totally ignoring his replies. He wouldn't even acknowledge him, and that seemed to only make like Leafy even more emboldened to do this because he's not getting attention. So he's like, well, give it to me, goddammit. But it didn't seem like Destiny was going to give a real response for a little bit for why he wasn't interacting. But when he ended up putting out a statement outlining why he would no longer be interacting with Nick Fuentes, Destiny was asked if he would ever talk to Leafy, to which he described him as a clout-hungry loser who's desperately trying to reestablish himself online in the edgiest way possible. And then he said that he might have considered engaging with him if he was 21 years old again. So clearly, you know, he kind of spelled it out there, very plain and simple, not interested in talking to Leafy for whatever reason. Honestly, like, for this reason, I feel like this is kind of silly reasoning because I don't really care. Like, clout hungry, everyone's clout hungry. Everyone does things on the internet for clout. Like, the point of the internet's attention. So who fucking gives a shit, right? And then the other thing is, like, you know, he's desperately trying to reestablish himself. It doesn't seem that desperate. I mean, it's kind of effortless almost. Literally he does the most low effort thing possible, which is stream, and he gets, you know, decent numbers. I will say his presence online is kind of being overinflated right now. I'm not trying to knock his numbers, but it's not like he's getting 30,000 live. He's getting like 2,000 live max, which, you know, is not bad by any means. People work for years to build up to those numbers, but it's not like he's, you know, in the zeitgeist really. He's not one of these huge streams. He has basically just enough to troll with, and his Twitter following is actually like massive. So there he gets some decent sized tweets and stuff, and is able to promo, you know, whatever shenanigans he's getting into. But honestly, given the kind of content Destiny does, if his actual reasoning was there's no conversation to be had because he doesn't have anything to say, then that would be real. Because if you watch Leafy streams, if you watch him interact with people like Sneeko, it's like hard for them to get an answer out of him. It's hard for them to get like an in-depth response to anything. When I talked to him, he was like, crack the out. He was like jumping from topic to topic. He's fun to talk to, don't get me wrong, but it's like if you're looking to get a real conversation about him where there's like some real answer and he's like having an in-depth conversation with you about his feelings, like you're probably not going to get that. You're not going to get a lot of like introspective content from Leafy. He's really just there to troll. Like, why would she stream with Sneeko of all people, like his like political enemy? Like that just makes it look bad. Well, yeah, but like for Destiny, like that just looks terrible. Like, why would she do that to him?
I have no. She's evil. I have no idea. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Have a conversation,
dude. I don't want to be near this person. This person probably has an STD, and she's evil, bro. And she's.
What if she's clean? What if she's clean? What if she doesn't? Leafy, you're telling me you wouldn't hit?
No, I probably would.
And for that reason, I would understand why Destiny doesn't want to talk to him, because, you know, he's on the opposite end of the spectrum, where Destiny's constantly all fucking day going in depth on these topics, being very critical, very detail oriented, going into the nitty gritty, whereas Leafy's just trolling and doesn't seem to have a lot of actual opinions on a lot of stuff, right? But Calvin wasn't about to take no for an answer. He wanted the content, he needed the content, and he needed it right now, and he would do whatever required to get Destiny's attention. Tweeting wasn't enough, so he decided to pull up Melina's nudes in a Rumble stream to review them. Not a joke. Obviously, I have to censor it, but yeah, it happened.
All right, this is what we're dealing with. That's Destiny's wife. Her nipples are kind of fucked up. Don't even bother, dude. She has pizza nipples. Destiny is getting ripped off.
As a result, Destiny blocked him, as did his wife. Now, there's some debate here over how wrong what Leafy did is. On one hand, leaking someone's nudes, or, you know, looking at their leaked nudes on stream is horrible, of course, right? There's just no defending that, really. But on the other hand, it's not like Melina is the average person. I believe Melina is considered a sex worker, and there's a lot of people talking about the fact that there's nude images of her online that she posted herself. So how unethical is it to look at something that someone posted of their own volition, right? How unethical is that? If you look at Anissa Jama's OnlyFans or something like that, right? If you acknowledge it in public, like, are you crossing some kind of boundary because it's her being naked? I mean, she posted it online, so certainly there's some room to talk about it there, right? She's not like embarrassed about it. You should be able to talk about her nude form, okay? You know, even though that's not really what I'm interested in doing. But as it turns out, the particular nude that Leafy looked at least one of them, was from an iCloud leak, which would obviously make it some level of invasion of privacy to look at that on stream because it wasn't intended to ever reach the public, you know? Whether Leafy knew that that was the case about that particular picture or not, I'm really not sure. But I'd imagine even if he did know, he probably wouldn't care that much anyway and would just keep looking at it, to be honest with you. I feel like that's not a big line in the sand for Leafy to draw morally, but Steven couldn't just take this on the chin. He couldn't take it lying down. He was being emasculated to thousands of people by the guy who got, you know, owned by iDubbbz, okay? His wife was being violated. Her nips were on discussion. Her nips were on the table as a discussion point, and he was not cool with that. He had to do something. As a result, his move was to discuss plans on stream for how he could get Leafy's Rumble contract terminated by talking to some of his connections at the company.
Why do you hate him so much? The guy was like, I didn't want to do any content with him initially just because he's like fallen off and I don't care, whatever. And he does like the edgiest possible. The guy was on, I've thought about contacting my Rumble dude to get him permabanned from fucking Rumble. Actually, you know what? If he has a contract with Rumble, I might look into those streams and I might actually pull with Chris and see if I can't get him revoked. What I was told, and I don't follow his shit because he's a fucking loser, but I was told was that he was streaming nudes of my wife on Rumble because neither of us would do content with him. That's fucking insane. If he was actually showing that on stream, I don't know, maybe I will shoot a message and find out. Like, that's wild and disgusting.
And Leafy responded here by saying, bro had mental breakdown because his wife likes me more, cried to Rumble CEO for 4 hours until they removed 2 VODs. And honestly, I think this is less cut and dry than a lot of Leafy fans would like to make it seem, because at the end of the day, if that nude was leaked, I mean, it is a private picture. And even beyond that, if he leaks like Fansly content or whatever, then Melina would have some claim to copyright infringement and could DMCA him, you know? Rumble could get in a little bit of shit if they're dealing with this, if they're hosting this guy on their platform in terms of publicity. You know, it looks really bad to have someone who's, you know, allegedly at least engaging in copyright infringement and posting, you know, revenge, right? But as for my opinion on all of this, I don't really give a shit. That being said, even as a Destiny fan here, I do feel a little disappointed Steven would turn to pulling contracts and income because of some petty internet beef. I feel as though targeting someone's source of income should be pretty off limits, okay? That's how I feel. Targeting sponsors and contracts is really silly. You know, there's enough to make fun of Leafy for already in terms of his appearance, mannerisms, and overall personality. And it's to the point where you really don't need to go for contracts, even from a pragmatic sense. I think it would be best to just engage in the flinging a little bit and have some fun with it instead of threatening to call the Rumble hall monitor, you know?
All right, that's a warning, pal.
Dude, you need to relax.
Flag!
What?
Okay, you want to get crazy? Boom, boom, double flag. There goes your video.
Did you just cancel me?
But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me being on the outside, being on the fringe, being an outlier with a crazy, wild opinion, okay?
Destiny calls LeafyIsHere a clout-hungry loser. Just as a heads up, I will never, ever do content with this degenerate fucking read ever in my life. I shouldn't even be giving him the little bit of attention that he's so fucking hungry for right now. This is one of the most irrelevant fallen from grace content creators ever. Like, I would do content with, like, fucking Rice Gum or whatever before I would ever do anything with this fucking loser. Leafy is doing, like, days worth of streams on me and my wife because he's such a fucking hungry clout shark. He is so desperate for my attention. Even the little bit of attention I'm giving right now, he's probably going to do 2 days worth of streams off of.
And now some of Leafy's streams are in fact being taken down, but it's unclear if that was by him or if Rumble took them down themselves or if they messaged him and were like, yo, can you take these VODs down? It's not totally easy to say right now. Not everyone involved is being totally forthcoming with information. I guess I wish they were, but you know, for now, this is really all we have to go off of. You know what? Despite everything, despite all the drama, despite the fire being thrown, I'm happy, okay? And why am I happy? Because I feel like we're in a golden age of YouTube drama right now with all of these competing platforms, controversial political figures, demented red pill people, annoying, cringy bread tubers, and like normies all interacting in the same mix and like producing content. Did you guys ever actually expect that Leafy and Destiny, of all people, would be in drama? People from 2 very different communities, you know, one is like, you know, a former normie YouTuber, like was super mainstream. Destiny, meanwhile, is like really in the politics thing. I mean, Destiny's big. He's gotten pretty big in the past few years, especially. He's grown a lot. But regardless, he's like in a different community than Leafy. Honestly, now he's definitely more popular than Leafy is. I feel like in terms of raw like views, in terms of like people talking about him, in terms of connections, Destiny's definitely more popular than Leafy now. It's kind of weird to see those roles reversed. And now they're in drama. They're fighting. That's fucking wild, right? And we just get to enjoy that conflict, guys. We get to sit back and watch this and fucking enjoy it from the sidelines. How cool is that, okay? And I, like the turkey vulture I am, I'm here to watch it all go down and warm my feet by the fire. Meanwhile, we have clips like this coming out from Sneeko in the meantime.
Actually, we would make a great double date. I like you on the left, and I think Zerka likes the girl on the right.
They're both on the left. What up, girls? I want to kiss you guys.
How old are you?
Got that white smiling. Let's go.
Stop. How old are you guys?
Underage. Well, you just yeah.
Like how underage though? Like your birthday's next week type.
Like we can't go to Starbucks. White.
And I will be turning 15 in a month.
Change my state of mind. Ladies and gentlemen, so hard to find. We got it.
Bro, chill the fuck out. Now with that out of the way, I want to clear up some misconceptions real quick before I dip the hell out of here. Guys. So Bo Blacks tweeted out that Leafy's getting millions of dollars from his Rumble deal, from his Rumble contract, and then someone called him dumb, and he was like, no, look at this message. And this message here does not show he's getting millions from Rumble. He's getting like a signing bonus, which isn't even 3 digits, so it's under 100,000, nowhere near $1 million. And then he gets a CPM, which is basically your ad rate, right? Like the, cents you get per million views or whatever. And that's capped at $2 million per year, I assume. Which means if he gets insane views, he can make money. But the ceiling is $2 million. There's no way Leafy would be paid $2 million for a Rumble account with like 15,000 like followers on it. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't make sense.
This is such a cope. Leafy gets 1 million+ views on every tweet and is getting paid millions to stream on Rumble? No, he's not. Not to mention he's probably still a millionaire off playing the stock market. How does Bo Blacks manage to consistently tweet some of the most retarded fucking things in the world? Man has all the money and attention he'd ever need. He's just fucking with Destiny to piss him off. Bo Blacks is like actually, unfortunately, mentally challenged.
Just a small error, no real shade being thrown to Bobby here. I think he just misread the message. Happens to the best of us, but just wanted to correct the record on that one. LeafyIsHere is not getting millions of dollars from Rumble by any stretch of the imagination. He's not. I wonder how much money Leafy actually has today and has been making in general, because he claims to have played it smart and invested, but I just wish I knew what that actually looked like on paper, as someone who's moderately interested in finance, because I also don't want to go broke or whatever. I'm sure there will be some more conflict between Destiny and Leafy in the future. Calvin has no real reason to stop this, considering Rumble does not seem to be reeling him in anytime soon. I mean, he barely even got a slap on the wrist. He got a fucking poke on the head. So, I guess the memes will keep rolling in, the content will keep coming, and my meme dreams of watching all of my favorite e-celebrities fight will be fulfilled, and I couldn't be happier about that, okay? I wonder who else we're going to throw into the mix next. Yeah, that's it for your daily scoop of drama. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. Follow my Instagram, TomButDark. Watch all my shiz. I stream a lot and stuff. I make videos a lot. I run the other channel. There's a lot of content coming out that I'm proud of that I think you guys would like a lot. So just go fucking subscribe to all of it. Give it a like. Yeah, bye.